Yo, what is going on, guys? It is JD here, back with another episode of the No Money Spent Road to Glory, and today we've got a lot of card collector level stuff to talk about. We're already halfway to the next level for us, which is 1,750 cards, which is absolutely incredible for 300 tokens, so we're halfway there from the last milestone we hit, which of course only hit at the weekend, which is a Diamond Anton Jameson, so we're absolutely killing it, and we've pretty much completed all of the miscellaneous collections. So we will go through today how much they've cost me and what I think a good price for all those guys is. We've got a lot of comments to go through from yesterday, and we are going to build a new squad to go into Myteam Unlimited. So we've got a lot to do today, so let's jump into it. And we do have a locker code as well that 2K have dropped, and they made a bit of a hiccup with that, but I'll talk about that in a second. So sadly, no limited time event today again, which is like the second time in a week. Which is a little bit like weird because they managed to go the whole first couple of months with having a new event every single day, and then 2 days in a span of like 7 days they haven't put one up. So that's a little bit sad, not gonna lie. Usually I do look to that to see what game mode I'm gonna play on that specific day. Because usually if they have like a token after a domination win, I'll play domination. They have a token after triple threat offline, I'll play that. 2 tokens after an unlimited game might get me tempted to play that, but you've got to give me a lot to get me tempted to play unlimited at the moment. So, into the daily agenda here, we've got 1 unlimited, 1 triple threat offline, and 1 domination game. Nothing crazy there. And again, they've really stopped doing tokens for this, which is a little bit annoying. For quite a while now, it's just been MT awards. But yeah, it used to be a token. There used to be challenges like buy a point guard, a silver point guard for 2 tokens, things like that. So I'd be very happy if they introduce those back in, because these little amounts of MT, they don't really get me interested in actually playing these game modes or doing these challenges. But if there was 1 token or 2 tokens, I'd definitely be interested in doing that. And of course, if they wanted to drop any packs in here, that'd be great, because we haven't seen packs for a long time. I think it was the first month of the monthly objectives was the last time we had a pack as the reward for any of the agendas, which is kind of ridiculous considering how little effort it would take them to actually put them in the game. So yeah, a little bit disappointing there. Move down here to the moments challenges. No new ones for today, but they have removed the Kobe White challenge. So the only 2 challenges up now are the ones that dropped yesterday, and I would definitely recommend you guys getting these done for a base heat check pack, and then for 6 tokens from the mellow one. So nice and easy to get those done. Do we have any more multiplayer challenges? We don't, but we should be getting some more on Friday. We don't even have any packs today to open from the daily login rewards. We've got a playbook that has sold, but I haven't actually got anything else going on in the auction house, so it's been a bit of a dry day. We've got a couple of things up in auctions, and then we'll talk about all these Earl Monroes in a second. But as you can see here, we are only 125 cards away. We are exactly halfway between Anton Jameson and 300 tokens, which is absolutely incredible. And then, of course, my goal for this year is to just get to 2,000 coins. 2,000 coins? 2,000 cards. We'll pick up these 300 tokens, we'll pick up this 100k, and then we will sell everything. Because past that, another 150 cards for a Pink Diamond Jalen Rose, who would not be exciting. A Pink Diamond Scottie Pippen, who would be good, but it's another 300 cards. And at that level, it's going to take a ridiculous amount to get to. Another 200 cards for 750 tokens. But by the time you're getting to this, you are super late in the game. And then 2,900 cards, that's just absolutely insane. So, yeah, we're actually getting towards where I want to stop for the year. Which is pretty crazy. So, of course, we are going to lock in the rest of these sets. So this stuff is all going to be locked in. There's going to be no MT to be made here. That's all going to be locked in. But in terms of all these heat check cards, now I am just keeping these as I have been for the last couple of weeks, maybe even a month at this point, and just selling them off when they are a good price. So like this Nerlens Noel, the cheapest one is 4,400, and that's just gone up. So we will sell him for 3.9 thousand MT and hopefully make some decent profit off of him. The magic cards usually sell for quite a bit, so you can see there's only 3 Alfredo Caminos up, so I can kind of pretty much just like choose whatever price I want for this guy. So we'll probably go for like 6.9k, something like that, just to try and entice someone to pick him up. And of course, he does usually sell for like 2-3k, so if someone does fall for this and pick him up, I've made so much more money than I would have done if I'd have just sold him at a regular time. So we'll put him up, and we'll put Nerlens Noel up, and this is what I've been doing for quite a while now, so we are just continuing to buy them for like 2,200, around that mark. Nothing too much than that, because I don't want to obviously waste too much coins on these, but we still do have I don't know, how many would you think we've got here? I'd say maybe 150 cards, which is kind of ridiculous, because I reckon we could sell them all for 300 or 3,000 MT, not 300 MT. We could sell 150 cards for 3,000 MT, which is probably just over 450k. After tax, you might lose some, but I reckon we could sell some, like we have done with the 2 today. Hopefully they'll sell for even more than 3,000. So I'd say probably like 500,000 of MT's worth of heat check cards here, which we can sell, and I will sell, especially if we do hit those 2,000 cards collected. As we come down here, nothing here is sellable, of course. This is all collectible levels that is untradeable. Come down to the premium sets. Now, a lot of this is tradable, and even from yesterday, I have picked up a few more players from here. So we picked up, who did I buy yesterday? DeAndre Hunter, Evan Fournier, they've all joined the squad, so we've pretty much completed all the collections now, and these are some people that we have to talk about in a second. So, Valanciunas selling for 5.5k now, when we picked him up yesterday for 3.9, so we actually got a really good price on him. There's so many of him up. My God, that is ridiculous. There's so many of them up. But yeah, his price has already started to rise. And is that the same case? Oh my God, 5,000 MT for Buddy Hield. Are you kidding me? That is actually insane. Wow, we've taken such an L on this card. We bought him for 11,000. I thought that was an amazing price. And then you take a look at this. Literally 5,000 MT. That is absolutely crazy. Might be worth investing in him. We will talk about that in a second. But other than that, we've got a couple of cards from the other sets. So a few multi-dimensional, a few lights out. Quite a few from these two of the latest Spotlight Series sets because they weren't too expensive. And of course, we already had people like Jameer Nelson and Hedo Turkoglu. But from this set, we didn't have anyone, but I managed to pick them all up for pretty much discard value. So not too bad there. And my general rule was paying no more than 1,000 MT for golds, emeralds, and sapphires, and then no more than 1,500 for the rubies. I think they are fair prices to pay, but in terms of the current NBA collection, I would recommend no more than 800 for bronzes, golds, emeralds, and sapphires, and then probably about 1,000 for the rubies, and then about 2,500 for silvers, because they are a little bit more expensive. And then, of course, the amethysts, haven't touched them yet, because they are still ridiculously expensive. So, that's what I've been doing in terms of the premium collections. And, of course, the only amethysts I've actually got are the Vucevic here, who we use in our main squad, so he's obviously very good. And then the Buddy Hield and Valanciunas, which we picked up yesterday. Other than that, there's no amethysts in here, apart from Jameer, which we are evoing up. So, unless we're using them, I'm not keeping hold of any super expensive cards. And then we come down here to the uniforms. I've completed it. I've got every single uniform in the game in our club now, which is absolutely ridiculous. So I've counted these up before, and there are 318 uniforms in the game. So we've got 318 uniforms to choose from, which is ridiculous. Now, in terms of the price of MT that we paid for all of these, because of course you can't lock these sets in, you don't get anything for locking them in, you can't lock them in. So we'll be able to sell these all on at a later date, and they should still withhold their value. I would say we bought maybe 200 of them at the 400 MT mark, which comes in at 80,000 MT, so not much at all. I'd say we probably bought 100 of them at 500 MT, which is of course 50,000, so 130,000 so far, and then probably like 20 or so at 1,000 MT, not too many to be fair. So all in all, I reckon about 175k maybe to pick up all of these cards, which really isn't that bad. And I really do think we could make some massive profit when we sell these cards back, because some of these Bulls jerseys are very expensive. Some of these OKC/Sonics jerseys are very expensive. Some of the Rockets jerseys are very expensive. Some of these 76ers jerseys are really expensive. So I think we've done so well there, and that is just being patient. It's just not buying them straight away, trying to work on the open bids rather than just buy nows, and just checking the art market as often as is possible. I'm not going to lie, it looks so aesthetically pleasing having green bars absolutely everywhere, and I just love the fact we have got every jersey in the game. That is really cool. And then we come down here to the miscellaneous section. We've completed the basketballs, we've completed the playbooks, we've completed the logos, and we are just 4 arenas away from completing everything else there. So if we come down to the arenas, we click enabled, and there is only one up, and it's the LA Staples Center for 2,000 MT, which I'm not going to pay. Now the problem is, there's probably loads more other than this card, because obviously this one's only got 23 minutes left, but for some reason the auction house just doesn't really work properly, which is a little bit annoying. So sometimes we have to just wait to see if anything is going to show up. So that's a little bit frustrating. In terms of the coaches, we've got all of them apart from the amethysts and the diamonds, I believe. These guys might be rubies actually, but I think they're expensive, which is why I don't have them. So I probably won't be picking up any more of these. I will try and pick up these remaining 4 arenas, which would be really cool. But again, none of this stuff you can lock in, so it is all stuff that we can sell back throughout the year. And I actually got really lucky. So this Bucks playbook, was definitely going to be one of the most expensive items that we had to buy, but I managed to get it for 1000 MT, I believe, which is way better than what it sells for. Like, this one's got a bid on it for 2000 already. So yeah, we got a super good price on that. So I've come down here and do some quick maths. So the basketballs were a little bit expensive, not gonna lie. Some of these gold ones very rarely got put up in auction, but I would say I paid no more than 1200 for any of these. But I think on average, out of the 29, we paid about 800 MT. So we paid about 23,000 MT for that, which in my eyes is not too bad at all. In terms of the logos, I think similarly to the basketballs, didn't pay too much, but a couple of them were a little bit expensive. So I'm going to put an average of about 700 on them, which again comes in at around 25k. And then the playbooks, they were a little bit different because some of them, like the Bucks one and the Heat one, they didn't come up in auction for ages, and they were a little bit expensive at the 1000 MT mark. But I would say on average, I don't know, maybe on average about 600 MT. So they're coming in at 45k. So I'm going to say about 100k for the logos, the playbooks, and the basketballs, which isn't too bad. And then the arenas, we've got 47 of them, and we'll say about 500 MT, so another 25k pretty much. So 125k, I'll say, for all four of these. Obviously, we've got the 175k, so about 300,000 MT has got me all of the uniforms, and then pretty much all of the consumables down here. Not the consumables, the club items down here, which is actually really, really good. And in terms of the coaches, I had a lot of these guys in my club already, but I did pay about 1,000 for the rubies, and Mike D'Antoni is obviously my coach currently. So we've got about 300,000 MT. Well, I reckon we could easily make a lot of profit on that. I reckon we could easily sell this all back for, I don't know, easily over 400k, I reckon, because some of these we could sell at the right time for a ridiculous amount of profit. So I'm so happy where the club is at the moment. I reckon we could easily sell up everything and have well over 1 million MT, which is ridiculous to stay at this point in the game, especially with locking in all of these current NBA collections as well, and of course locking in 2 heat check sets as well. So the club is in such a good position, and of course we've got some Evo cards that we are working on. The only one that we can sell that we're working on is going to be this Jameer Nelson, and we made a little bit of progress on him, 4 games in with 71 assists, so it's not too bad for him. And then we did play another game with Dwight Howard yesterday as well, if we have a look at him. So 19 blocks now, and he's at 108 rebounds and 215 points, so shouldn't be too long until we have him evoed up again, and then we'll have to decide, and it is going to be a tough decision whether or not to take him up to the diamond level. So let's get into some comments from yesterday's video. So we've got one from Max Murray, who says, love the vid, do you watch a lot of basketball, and if so, what team do you support? I don't really have the time to watch basketball. I wish I did. I just don't really have the time. I watch all the highlights in the mornings, because of course for me in England, all of the games start at like midnight, 1 a.m, 2 a.m, so watching them live is incredibly unfeasible, and obviously I have to go to work the next day, so I can't watch them on repeat. But in terms of who do I support, I don't really support any team, really. I just enjoy watching good basketball, you know. Obviously, I like watching individual players if they're playing great stuff. Like, obviously, Giannis is just an absolute god to watch. Luka Doncic is killing it at the moment. Steph, when he's healthy, is great to watch. I just like watching good basketball. There's not really a team that I really have a flavouring to. Moving on, next comment, we've got one from Jacob Harris, who says, you should do a series where you try and go 12-0 with Emerald or Sapphire cards only. I mean, I should do, but I don't think for my sanity I can actually bring myself to do that. So this is the last team that I went into My Team Unlimited with. So we had the Pink Diamond Baron and Blake, and then we've got the Amethyst Vucevic. I could make a team that's all Emeralds and all Sapphires that I know would be able to go 12-0 if I had the motivation to actually do it, but I just don't enjoy playing online enough to actually go into it. And the Pink Diamond Glide the Glide doesn't excite me enough, and of course they only give out the Amari as well. If they gave out the Larry Bird, then yeah, it'd be great, because it seems like they're just picking whoever they want, because it should be the Baron Davis, but they just have not updated it. So yeah, at the moment I just don't see myself going for another 12-0 run, and I just don't really have the time either. And of course it is such a time sink, especially if you start losing loads of games. If you get to like 10-0 or 11-0 and you lose, that is so many hours wasted, which is of course very, very annoying. Next up in the comments, we have one from Father Beps, who says, picked up 2 Siakams for 28 and 26k, W or L. Well, let's take a look. So I have seen really good things about this Siakam, and I have been very impressed or surprised at how cheap he is. So put in diamond card here. Surely he's not selling for 49k. No, he is not. There is another diamond Pascal Siakam, so we will put this down as a Moments of the Week 6. Is that going to be the right one? Yes, it is. So let's put a minimum buyout on him of 30k, and let's see what his price is saying. Now, he doesn't say what console he's on, so he might be on the different console. And this Siakam is already over 30k. It really doesn't matter if we have it enabled or disabled, but let's bump this up to 37k. So there we go. He's coming in at 37k. So if you're on PlayStation and you got them for 28 and 26k, that is a massive W. You're making about 10k per card already after one day, which is a really, really solid investment. Next up, we got a comment from Jericho All Day. I believe that's how you say your name. The Monroe, they gave Monroes out for free, so everyone just selling them to get them off or out of their clubs. And he, of course, is talking about these Earl Monroes, which did go back up to 11k after the original day of him being out in the locker code. But then since yesterday, his price has decided to come back down to 8,000 MT, which is a little bit annoying. I thought after like a week or so, we'd just be able to get rid of them. I don't want to have them sitting in my club. I don't want to have to be sitting on MT that's not liquid at the moment. So it looks like he's gone back up to 9,000. So his price is just all over the place. We might give it another week or so. Maybe when Christmas comes around, and of course we get all the new Christmas noobs coming into the game, they might just see this set and be like, wow, I really need to complete that. That's another 200 tokens. And they might just think, oh, well, we've got to go ahead and pick this Elmon row up because they're going to need him to complete the collection. So that's actually a good idea, actually, that I haven't actually thought about before. So I think we're going to hold on to him until Christmas time. So another, like 21 days, something like that. And if his price doesn't go up after that, then we're just going to sell him because he should still sell for about the same amount that we did buy him for. We've also got some other investments down here that I'll talk about. So we've got 3 Hoodoo Turkaloo sitting there. And I picked all of those up for 5,000 MT, or like 4.5k, which I didn't think was a bad price. His price is around the same, but as you can see, they're getting rarer and rarer. There's only 4 finishing in the next hour, and there's not too many up on the auction house compared to how many there were when he first dropped. So I do think he's going to get rarer and rarer throughout the year. So obviously we've got the one already in the club at the moment, and then we've got 3 others here. One of them being a Sapphire already, which is very nice indeed. Next up in the comments, we've got one from Quicksilver, and this was a really interesting comment. So he says, I've kept a spreadsheet for moments of the week prices all year, and all of the moments of the week's amethysts are wildly cheap for the first 3 days after they come out, and then get an average of a 30 to 50% increase around Wednesday, Thursday. I would bet the house on that Valanciunas as far as investing goes. I'd imagine that we're going to see a similar effect to what Vucevic had, where he could be bought at 5 to 6k and then shot up to 13 to 15k later in the week. So that is really interesting, and tracking player prices is definitely a very, very smart thing to do when investing. So at the moment, Valanciunas, like I said, I picked mine up yesterday for 3.9k. And let's take a look at what he's selling for at the moment. So there's none up for 5k, so that's a good sign. So we've already made about 1,000 on this card. He's none for 5.6, so already looks like his price is coming up. None for 6.3. Are we going up to 7k for Valanciunas? We are. Okay, that is mad. So already his price has come up big time, and there you go, there's none up for under 7k. So those ones on open bid that were selling for like 2k, I think if we could pick those up for 5k, I think that'd be a pretty damn good investment. So I mean, I don't really have much MT, and we really need to start saving it. Oh wow, literally got exactly the right amount of MT there. We really do need to start saving it, but like you say, the prices just go up so much. So this Vucevic we picked up for like 8k, I believe. And it looks like he's up at 14k, around that. So we could make some big profit on this card if I wasn't using him. But of course, we are using him in our main squad. But yeah, I can't imagine this Valanciunas, all this buddy healed. I cannot believe how cheap this guy is. Wait, we saw loads sell for 5k. Why is this one at 7k? I have absolutely no idea. That's very weird. But yeah, I think both of those guys are going to increase in price massively. Like I said, we picked this guy up yesterday for 11k. I thought that was a great price. I had a couple of you guys saying you'd invested in him for around the same price and thought it was a good price. And yeah, so did I. And he looks like, so why did those ones sell for 5k? God damn, I really should have picked those up. That is a big L on my part, but we just do not have the amount of MT that we need to invest at the moment. We've got, of course, another Spotlight Series set coming on Friday, potentially. It's not guaranteed, but I imagine they will drop it. And, of course, we're going to need like 200k spare to actually buy the set for that. So we can't really be investing too much more, but thankfully there's not many things I need to buy now. Now we've got everything pretty much locked into the set, or not locked in, but in the club, there's nothing really we can actually buy. We could buy a couple more heat checks, but they are a little bit too expensive. I don't really want to be wasting my MT doing that. So next up in the comments section, we have one from Blaine Berger who says, is locking in moments of the week set 6 worth it? I have Giannis, AD and Siakam already. So come down to moments of the week 6, Yeah, no, definitely, definitely not. So you'd have to pick up this James Harden, of course, which is still selling for about 126k. And the thing is, with all of these cards here, all four of these guys, especially Giannis, especially Harden, and especially AD, they're all going to get better cards in the next month, maybe even in the next few weeks. Like, you never know how good these cards are going to play, or these players are going to play in real life. This is Siakam's second card, this is AD's second card, this is Giannis's third card or second card, and this is James Harden's first pink diamond, but he's already had like 3 diamond cards, so these guys are going to get so many more cards throughout the year. There's no point locking in these ones. Play for them for a little bit and then sell them off, and 100 tokens at this point in the game, it just isn't even that much. Like, the legacy sets are 200 tokens, so in general scheme of things, for the amount of MT it costs to lock in this, it's just not worth it. If you want 100 tokens that badly, go ahead and lock in 5 normal sets down here, or 4 heat check sets, and you can easily make that amount of tokens. Right, so let's go ahead and put in the locker code that 2K released today. Now, funny thing about this, well, I say funny, it's actually pretty tragic on 2K's behalf. So the code is for either 2,500 MT, a Diamond Doug West, or 5 tokens, so a pretty standard locker code. But when they put out the picture on Twitter, they had 2,500 tokens, not MT. Like, how that got through, like, who is running this account? Because someone had to make that graphic, and they didn't think, god damn, that's quite a lot of tokens, should we double check that before it goes out? No, nobody thought that. So that just confirms to me that there is literally one person running that account, and they clearly do not know the game, because even at a glance, you'd be able to see that that was a mistake. But somehow 2K managed to put it out the way it was. But of course, they did quickly change the picture down to 2,500 MT, which of course is not as exciting in any way, shape, or form. So, what do we want today? Realistically, I want the tokens. So we want the blue, so we want to get it in the middle somewhere. So let's try and do that. And it just doesn't look like I've done that at all, does it? There is another blue slot down in the middle. So if we can hit that spinny thing, that'd be great. If not, it looks like we're getting 2,500 MT, which we are. Okay, not great, but it's better than the Doug West, not going to lie, because I would never have used him, and he would have just been sat in the club. So at least we've got something that's going to help out the club. Would have much rather 5 tokens, but you know what? We'll take 2,500 MT. Not too bad at all. So, moving on to this squad. So we can upgrade this now, which is very exciting. So we can put in the Amethyst Buddy Heal. So he is going to jump into the squad right there. So if I am going to play Unlimited this month, I want to make sure it's a squad that I'm actually going to have fun with and actually enjoy using. So, George Morrison, I think, sadly, he's actually run his course, and I don't think he's very good now, especially with these elite defenders that we've got coming out. But I'm going to put Valanciunas in here, actually. We're going to try him out in a couple of games and see if he's any good. Like I looked at the stats yesterday, I think he's just a slightly worse version of Vucevic, but it does depend on his jump shot to see whether he is going to be any good. He does have more Hall of Fame badges. He's got good defensive ones, so that's really nice. I'm happy with keeping Bielitsa in here. He's a really, really good stretch forward, and of course he does have range extender, which is very important these days. RJ and Ja Morant, very happy keeping them in. Same with Swaggy P. Nick Anderson is good. Is he better than RJ or Nick Young? I'm not sure. I think all of these 3 guys are pretty much on par. Some of the time they have really, really good games, and some of the times they have absolute stinkers. But hopefully Buddy Hield as an Amethyst now will be even better. And then out of the club, there's not really anyone that I'd want to get into this squad. Steve Francis maybe for Ja Morant, but I just really, really enjoy Ja Morant, not going to lie. In terms of their stats, obviously, Steve Francis is probably going to wipe the floor with him, as he do. It's not really too much, actually. They're not too dissimilar. Pretty same on the stats, to be honest. By saving 5 ratings, I think that's better, so we don't get matched up against too many God squads. And then other than that, not really anyone here that's too exciting to me. Desmond Mason was a great card back in the day. And then obviously a couple of these other guys were decent-ish. We put a lot of time into KG, we put a lot of time into D-Wade. But yeah, they just don't cut it these days. Michael Redd, with his upgraded release with a quick draw. But again, I just don't think he's as good as these Moments of the Week cards. I think these cards really are going to be the backbone of most of our squads this year. As you can see, we've got 5 players in here that are Moments of the Week. So it just goes to show how powerful they do make those cards. So I think this might be the squad we run into Unlimited with. Obviously, we've got RJ and Ja Morant with a dynamic duo here, which doesn't actually do much. I think it might increase some of their badges. So Ja Morant or RJ Barrett now with 21 gold badges, and Ja Morant's coming in with 25. I'm not sure if that was standard. 2K did say you could see the changes in stats and badges and it looks like they were lying because RJ still comes with 21 badges. So that's, well, it's not surprising at all, really, that 2K lied about that. But oh well, we'll have to take their word that they do actually get some bumps in their badges. But they do get some bumps in their stats, obviously. And then in terms of the main squad, Vucevic is fantastic. Really do enjoy him. Baron Davis, obviously brilliant. Buddy Hield should be a much better addition than the Ruby card. This one, of course, coming in with 6 Hall of Fame badges, which again is what amazes me that he's so cheap. So I don't know, if we had a lot more MT, I would happily invest a lot of money. But did we get that Valanciunas for 5k? We did. All right, that's pretty cool. You know what? I'll take that. We might start picking up some Valanciunases for 5,000 MT. I think that's, again, a pretty safe investment. But we're just making so many investments. What about diamond contracts these days? What are they selling for? So, of course, they were 18k. Wow, that one's 15k and it doesn't even have a bid on it. So it looks like we're really going to have to play the long game with some of these investments. Yeah, there's so many up. Wow, there's been an influx on the market. Again, though, maybe around Christmas time, they will start coming up in price. So I think the only way we're going to make MT at the moment to have enough for this new Spotlight set is by selling off these heat check players. So I think I'm really going to have to stay on top of this in the next couple of days and try and make a lot of MT. Because, yeah, these Earl Monroes pretty much locked in here. Same with Hedo, same with the contract cards. They're not going to go up in the near future. Valanciunas might, though, so maybe we'll pick up some more of him. I don't know. I'll be tempted, but we will see. So I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Just a bit of club maintenance going on, showing you how much things have cost, and the fact that we're already halfway to the next collect level is absolutely insane, in my opinion. So hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. As usual, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.